I'm Carrington MacDuffie. This is Star Seeds of Freedom, and I am pleased and tickled to have with me today the indefatigable, the inimitable, the indescribable Dr. Jim Willie. And today we're going to talk about some of the things that he really excels in talking about and knowing about, which include the financial landscape, the geopolitical landscape. He's a statistician, and, well, he's not technically a mathematician, but he is more than of a mathematician than you or I. And so I appreciate that about him as well. So many other things. He's also the editor on the golden-jackass.com website, which you must check out, and where you can find his newsletter and you can sign up for a consultation, which you'll want to do if you haven't done that already. And you're going to really want his newsletter, actually. That's kind of number one. And there's also a donate button that you can press as many times as you wish. So, Jim, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks. I hope the light is okay. It's kind of dark here and it's raining. It's raining hard, really hard. Hey, I got to make a quick correction. I'm not an economist.
I didn't say you were, but...
No, I am a mathematician.
Okay.
I am a mathematician. Statistics is mathematical statistics and probability. It's all math.
Okay. I'm glad you straightened me out on that.
I'm not an economist.
Right.
And, you know, I when I was in my first year, I was asked, Jim, we need a bio. Give a quick bio. Put together something about your past work, you know, quality control, marketing research, sales analysis, forecasting. Those are the three big areas. But I see if I can remember it exactly. Jim Willie has a doctorate in statistics from Carnegie Mellon and is unencumbered by the limitations of economics credentials. What I mean by that is I'm not a Harvard, Chicago, or Stanford moron,
right,
with an economics doctorate. I've actually talked and little debates with three different Ivy League economist doctorates. I was so unimpressed.
Yeah,
unimpressed.
Well,
here's the main thing. Then I'll leave it alone. None of them thought that the debt was a problem.
Okay.
And I said, well, in good times, we still increase the debt. In bad times, we accelerate the debt. Yeah, but it's not a problem. We just manage the debt. We have bond issuance. And I said, well, what happens when it grows out of control? Because it is, I think, on an upward path. You know, if you take the logarithm of the U.S. government debt, it's a straight line, which means it's growing exponentially.
Yes.
And we've heard this many times. Baby Bush doubled the debt. Obama doubled the debt. And Trump, combined with Biden, have more than doubled the debt.
Yeah.
And now we're facing, I believe, a certain debt default. Oh, I just read something. Income taxes from the most recent month, I think it was June, could only cover 76% of the government borrowing costs for that month. But, you know, there's more than income taxes. There's, you know, corporate income tax. But they might have included corporate income tax because they said income tax.
Uh-huh.
And then you got excise tax, you got inheritance tax, and you got a number of other taxes.
And revenue comes from a lot from the court system. A huge amount comes from fines.
Oh, really?
Yes, yes. Because a
I'm not...
lot of the courts, they'll have four running at a time, and people come through and pay the fines all day long in all the courts across the country. Seriously, it's a big part of the revenue.
I didn't know that. But here's some of the individual stats.
Okay.
You know, I'm a stat rat.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a quant. We have a phrase, you probably never heard this, a quant jockey, quantitative jockey, a quant jockey.
Okay.
I'm a quant jockey.
Okay, cool.
It means I manage numbers and I drill numbers and I grind numbers. Here's some numbers that are quite scary. We're building $1 trillion in new debt in less than 100 days.
Yeah, that's...
Now, here's where it gets funny. we've got people who say that, and then in the following sentence, they say, we're headed toward at least a $2 trillion deficit. It could be 2.1 or 2.2 of the estimates. Well, how many blocks of 100 days are in a year?
Yeah.
3.5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're heading toward at least 3.5 trillion in debt this year.
So do you think that there's any solution to that? Do you see do you have anything to say about where that might be taking us? Is there anything good that can come out of this?
There are a couple places where we could go, a couple paths that we could find ourselves on. I'll start with a very positive one.
Good. Okay.
All right. Now, it was reported about a year ago that the Saint Germain Trust delivered $21 trillion to a military finance group dedicated to pay down the debt. At that time, it was about 31 trillion, and word had it, well, if we can cover the other 10, we can start over.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't heard anything more on that. We haven't heard whether it was false or whether it was real. I tend to think it was real. I'm not a goofy optimist.
You know.
I'm well grounded, and I see a lot of negatives, and I don't overlook them, and I don't think, oh, that's not a big problem.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
What I think might be happening is that Trump, it's Team Trump. It's a white.
Yes.
It's the Global Military Alliance, the White Alliance, they're often called,
Mm-hmm.
and there are 20 militaries that are behind it, including the Russian. And they've been confiscating royal assets and other offending parties involved with child trafficking, child ritual killing, narcotics trafficking. And here's a Lulu that I heard. Where was Grace Kelly from? It wasn't
Monaco.
Monaco. I get confused with San Marino. Monaco. The voice told me several years ago that Monaco is one of the primary narcotics processing centers in Europe. They got a gigantic underground facility, and that's where they make a lot of money in Monaco. Okay, for all we know, some of these royals have been gathered up and their wealth has been confiscated. Here's my point. It's possible that maybe $100 trillion has been confiscated.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's 20 trillion, but it's a lot of trillions. And, you know, once you get above a certain number of trillions, most people's heads start to spin.
Yeah. Well, even 1 trillion is hard to conceive, really, it's.
Oh, gosh. I saw a picture of a landscape. It was like chest-high $100 bill pallets.
Oh, I saw that. Yes.
With a skyline in the background.
Yes. It's going on for miles.
It was on Ben Fulford's. That's where.
Oh, okay. Right.
It's a lot of money. I've seen football fields, 20 football fields, chest high, $100 bills. Anyway, the point is that I believe Trump is part of a team. And this is the good side, the good scenario. Trump is part of a team. And the deal goes like this. We can get rid of the U.S. government debt and the $7 trillion held by foreign central banks. You'll be handed 70,000 tons of gold. And you can parse it out and you can use it for your banking system foundation. You can use it for trade payment, your depository for like the gold trade note, which is now called the unit. It was going to be called the gold, the BRICS gold token.
I can't believe they're calling it the unit. That's lame. What? Well, token is better than unit, isn't it?
Well, the token was pure gold, though. And the unit is 40% gold.
Oh.
And 30% each of the two currencies for the two
Oh,
countries settling their trade. That was the compromise they made at St. Petersburg. All right, let me finish. Let me finish the point though, because it's on the tip of my tongue.
yeah.
Team Trump is saying we can resolve the debt and start anew, but you need to clear out the Khazarian satanic cult.
Yeah.
You need to clear out the New World Order. You need to clear out the Geneva agents, the Davos World Economic Forum agents, the
Hmm.
leaders of tomorrow. You need to clear them all out, and then we'll start anew. So, what's it going to be?
Hmm.
Do we have a global depression, or do we clear them all out and start anew with a great gold foundation? That's how I see it.
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Okay. Now, these guys do not go quietly into the night.
No. No.
Therefore, they're going to take us to the brink of disaster. They're going to show us the abyss. They're going to try to toss us into the abyss with blackmail. Blackmail, like for a global new virus that's even worse. The corona, let's face it, the corona was a pretty bad head cold.
Yeah, I don't know if people will fall for the bird flu.
No, they're not.
I don't think they're going to fall for it this time.
Well, a very good indicator is almost 90% of the people who've been vaxxed don't continue anymore with the boosters. So that's out.
Yeah.
Okay, fooled me once, fine. Fooled me twice, shame on me. Fooled me three, third, not going to happen.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right. I think the threat involves Marburg, and we haven't seen it yet. They're floating out the avian flu. They didn't do the Marburg. Maybe they're holding that for later because that is very, very deadly. Very. It's a mix of, it's a crossing of smallpox and Ebola.
Right, I've heard that. Although now with the avian flu, I think they are going to inject it, have maybe are starting, um, well, a vax for it or something into animals, so into our food supply, I think where that might go. But
Uh,
anyway, finish your thought.
oh, they're killing pigs right now,
Yeah,
left and right.
yeah,
Cattle and
exactly.
pigs and
Yeah,
horses. They're
yeah,
killing them left and right.
yeah.
Uh, then these people need to be taken down. Let me share with you something that I heard last week from a client, and he said, "Jim, I don't talk much about this, but I'm somewhat connected, and I reached out to you because I admire your work. I admire your ability to explain things, your delivery. I think you're bold, and I have an ex-CIA friend, and he told me that as of July, they have vastly accelerated the arrests. They're picking up guys, men and women, left and right. They're picking them up in great numbers, and they're loading Guantanamo." And I couldn't get out of him.
Hmm.
Actually, I think I forgot to ask him. I can't remember. Where are they putting the overload?
Hmm.
He said oh, I remember he said they're putting them in certain military bases. Like I don't know if you're aware, but Andrews Air Force Base outside DC,
Hmm.
it's been converted. It's been expanded. And it's a very gigantic facility, and it has a military prison in it. And
Okay.
it has tribunals. There are tribunals all over the place that they don't talk about. All right. So, a couple of days ago, I heard 6,000 U.S. Marshals were assembled in Washington, D.C.
Oh yeah, and I've heard they've been shipping cops to DC even. Or maybe we're talking
What's
about the same thing
going
and I
on?
thought it was
Yeah.
cops, but cops coming from New
No,
York to DC?
marshals.
Okay.
Marshals.
Okay.
But marshals come from states. They're
Right.
state marshals.
Right.
Um, what's going on?
Yeah. And there's Greenland. What about Greenland?
No, I don't. I'm not going to leave alone this. 6,000 marshals
Yeah, okay.
were sent to D.C.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Something's going on.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I tell you, I'll tell you my wild dream: mass executions.
I think a lot of people share that dream.
Okay, I don't know. I'm seeking more information on that,
Hmm.
and it's really hard to come by.
Yeah.
Here's another hint. Today was the last day of the Congress, this particular session, and no congressional member can be arrested while Congress is in session.
But now,
And 6,000 marshals have descended on
right.
D.C.
Yes.
Okay, so
Okay.
I wonder if we're going to have some justice meted out at the end of a rope. All right, let's leave that alone. I'm not
Okay.
wacky.
No.
I'm not wacky.
No, that's a known thing that
It
law enforcement's
it's
being sent into DC. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's happening.
it's not to take down the fences.
No, they don't need them to take down the fences.
I have a few clients. They're not many. And one of them wrote to me several months ago and said, and this has been repeated, but he gave me more detail. He said, Jim, I work outside DC, but once in a while I go into DC because I have a couple friends there and we get together for dinner and do whatever. But he said, it's almost a ghost town.
That's what I've heard.
And he
Yeah.
said the traffic, like during the business days, 8 to 5 p.m., he said it's way down. There's no big traffic jams. And on the weekend, it's pretty much a ghost town.
This is
All right.
not nothing. This is not nothing.
This is a vacated city,
Yeah, yeah,
and it is foreign territory.
right.
It's from the three. For those who don't know, I mean, it's worth mentioning some basics here.
Sure, sure.
It's called the Empire of Three Cities. It's the London Financial Center, the Vatican, and Washington, D.C.
Yes,
Each one is not part of those countries.
that's right.
The Vatican is not part of Italy.
Right.
London Financial Center is not part of England. And that's why Trump had invoked the Insurrection Act, saying that we had been invaded by an element on foreign soil that was Washington, D.C. This is very interesting.
It is. All the
it
ins
is.
and outs of this, it's
Okay,
crazy.
let me get back to the treasury. I mentioned the good side, and I
Mhm.
mentioned only the threat for the bad side, where the controllers take us to the abyss, to the edge. I like to describe it as we're on a knife's edge. I like that term. I like that metaphor
Okay.
because it's a sharp drop
Yeah.
on each side.
Yes.
We're on a knife's edge.
Yes.
We're not on a round hilltop. We're on a knife's edge. And I'm not really subject to stupid hope. I really am not. I'm very practical, pragmatic. I had a nickname in college. They called me Basic Man. And when I was in graduate school, my friends said, "Oh, so you're going into statistics, not math?" I said, "No, math is in statistics. You cannot get a statistics degree unless you're really good in math."
Mm-hmm.
And they said, "Oh, so you're pragmatic man." Yeah, not Neanderthal, but pragmatic man.
It's a new breed.
Okay. Anyway, I think we're going to be put into a deeper stage of debt default.
Okay.
Because these guys are not going to vacate the scene.
Right.
The cabal is not going to say, "All right, we've had enough."
Yeah, we're throwing in the towel.
When they walk off the stage, they get arrested and hanged.
Right.
That's why.
Right.
They don't want to walk off the stage because they get arrested and hanged.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're in stage 3 out of 5 stages of debt default.
Okay.
Stage 1 was back in 2019, and the reaction was the launch of the fake pandemic. And that was a very big distraction.
Mm-hmm.
And it enabled a $9 trillion COVID stimulus relief to help the big banks.
Yep.
But in a sense, the doctors killed the bankers. Okay, the fascist head has two sides,
yes.
Doctors and bankers.
Yes.
The doctors killed the bankers, so they gave them $9 trillion to shut up, and they ran out. And that's why the banks are in trouble. They don't have any more. All right. Then in 2021, at the end of the year, we had stage 2 of the debt default. I'm talking louder because the rain got louder. I'm sorry. It's really loud.
Yeah, okay. We
Really
can't
loud
hear
here.
it at all,
Okay.
but
Okay. Good.
okay.
I'll try not to talk too loud.
You're
Um,
doing perfect.
in late 21, we had second stage of the debt default, and it was manifested in refusal of treasury bonds at ports for trade payment.
Right.
So they launched the Ukraine war,
Right.
and a great distraction. And I have noticed in the last year a preponderance of super tankers at U.S. ports. And my colleagues tipped me off on this. They said, Jim, we're earning trade credits with super tankers of oil.
Which must have come from our reserves.
Well, the reserve, but also we produce a lot.
Not
We've got
enough.
not I know, but we produce a lot.
Yeah.
Um, and we got the shale, and I believe that's been turned off. But we produce, and we deal with shortage. But you're probably right. We're making up for the difference with the strategic reserve. But I heard that a portion of that went to China from Sleepy Joe.
I've heard that too.
Yeah.
Really sounds like such a good idea.
Okay,
Send it
but
to the
apart
CCP.
from that, that uncertainty,
Yeah.
we're filling up oil super tankers for credits for incoming imports.
Right.
Okay, that speaks volumes on Treasury bond default. They're not accepted.
Okay. Yeah,
And
this is something I wanted to ask you about where we were with that,
the,
but yeah, they're
the
not taking the
BRICS
T-bonds.
nations, the BRICS nations don't want T-bonds.
Yeah.
They don't. It's really T-bills. It's
T-bills for
T-bills
them.
to act as cash and T-bonds to store away in their central bank as Forex reserves because they earn a higher interest rate. But they also lose money. We're in deep, deep shit. um,
Practical
the
man speaks.
we're in deep shit.
You know.
I love the. I only heard in 1982 or so. We're in deep sneakers. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's so polite,
I know it's deep
Dr.
shit.
Jim.
It's deep
Yeah.
shit.
Okay.
All right. What is happening is that the countries are turning away from the treasury bond for both
Yeah.
payment and their savings account at their central banks. Okay, there's a development in the last several months, and that is foreign central banks are getting USD tether as payment for their sold treasury bonds. And what I can't get a firm answer on is who's controlling the USD tether?
Yeah.
Is it the US Treasury Department, or is it the individual countries that have the tether account? And is the tether account managed by Department of Treasury wonks and their crypto gigantic wallet? I don't have an answer to that.
If anyone knows, you can write in.
That would be nice. But here's what I believe is happening.
Okay.
The countries that sell their treasury bonds damn well have control of their tether. Otherwise, they're handing their bonds over to the government that they don't trust, and that's not happening.
Right.
Okay, so the U.S. government came up with a deception. They said there's a very big tether account because of all the profits from Bitcoin. Not. That's just so stupid.
I'm not sure how that would work.
$2 trillion in tether is from Bitcoin profit? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't.
All right, so there's a lot of bullshit out there being tossed around. Okay, yeah. But the point is clear. BRICS nations are discharging their treasury bonds.
Yes.
And I'm on record as saying something back in March, April, May, and June that I didn't believe Operation Sandman. You remember that one? 20 nations selling $2 trillion worth of treasuries in 2 days.
Yes.
And I said, well, maybe in 2 years.
2 years.
Well, might have been in a few months because they sold $2 trillion, and that's the tether account. And the worry now, is that tether will be used to sabotage cryptos. at an appropriate time, and I don't know how they could do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, how would that be done? Not that I don't think it could be. I just don't understand well enough to know.
I don't think it.
So, okay, so 2 trillion in a couple months, and
Well, maybe a few months. That could be the last 7 or 8 months. We don't know.
uh-huh,
They don't
uh-huh.
tell us.
And some of that, a bunch of that's Japan. I know.
Yeah, Japan. I'd rather not talk about Japan because
Okay.
I don't have anything new on Japan. I only have what's about 8 or 10 months old, and
Yeah.
um, I
Okay.
don't like repeating old stuff.
Yeah.
We got so much new stuff.
Let's talk about the new stuff. Yeah.
The In June, St. Petersburg had the economic forum. In June, it was
Mm-hmm.
mid-June, and
Mm-hmm.
it was a very big success.
Yeah.
And there were no incidents of violence. There were no uh, there were no people hauled off to be arrested. There were no terrorist type
Nope.
incidents, no
Right.
bombings, no threat of bombings. Nobody was locked away in a hotel like in Durban, South Africa in October.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story in itself.
Right.
And, and here's my impression, and this has been going on now for 2 years. The St. Petersburg Forum has eclipsed the Davos. Davos
Good.
does not recently have much in the way of contract signing, of deal making, of big financial institutions arriving in order to rub shoulders and talk shop and formulate deals. It doesn't have foreign finance ministers at Davos. Davos is the central bank barbecue
For
where I
them.
believe to them, where I
Yeah.
believe underground, late at night, they have nefarious activities with little
Yes.
kids.
It's their
Okay,
hang. It's their hang.
right. So what we've got now is a legitimate global economic forum that
Mm-hmm.
has replaced Davos and rendered it largely irrelevant. And they don't like it.
Oh, I'm sure they
They don't
don't.
like it at all.
Yeah.
So they hate Putin, and
Yeah.
the Davos crowd controls the press, so they still, demonize Putin. He's a dictator. He invaded Ukraine. I don't think he invaded Ukraine. He reacted to slaughtering and
Yeah.
ethnic cleansing
Yeah.
in
After
eastern
many,
Ukraine.
and he didn't react until many years in.
Well, he reacted in early 22 after they killed a few thousand in eastern Ukraine.
Right. I
And for
was
those,
thinking he didn't react. I mean, there was many years where they were of pushing the boundaries there and pushing his.
well, yeah, pushing NATO boundaries, but the slaughter by the Azovs, the
Yeah.
Nazi wing of the Ukrainian
Yeah.
military, uh, that slaughtering it, they call it ethnic cleansing. And
Yeah.
Eastern Europe has a history of this.
History of that. Yeah.
It occurred in Yugoslavia back in the
Yes.
mid 90s.
Yeah.
But where do I want to go with that? The Putin is demonized,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, Sergei Lavrov, their foreign minister,
Yeah.
is probably the number one global statesman on the planet.
Yeah.
Lavrov.
Yeah.
And he's made a lot of comments recently about the circus in the United States.
Yeah.
It's a circus.
It is. Well, we have Hollywood here, so we have that going for us. We're really good at entertainment.
And I just offer to people, can they make a list of 50 actors and actresses who they've not seen for 2 years?
Yep. Or we've
And
seen some CGI. I'm not sure what we've seen actually.
yeah, I know. I'm very concerned about that, but I don't think there's
Yeah.
been very much, a great deal of that. I got to tell you about a habit of mine because, I have challenges. I don't have a sleeping problem. I
Okay.
have sleeping challenges.
Okay.
And I have no trouble getting the first 4 to 5 hours of sleep. No trouble at all. And I sometimes doze off, and it's not planned, at 9 o'clock, 9:30. not planned. And I wake up at 2. And I'm not exactly still sleepy.
Yeah.
So
If I wake up at 2, it's because I'm having a panic attack, you know?
yeah, I know, and I
Or
sympathize with
maybe
all those who do.
anxiety attack.
Anxiety getting the better part of you. That's how I like to say.
Yes.
But what I do is I do the usual thing that a 70-year-old guy does, is take a leak. And sometimes I check my text messages because I've got a couple of people on the other side of the world. I've got a kind of a pen pal in Singapore, and he's a really smart guy. And I got a couple of friends in Europe. They don't use WhatsApp quite as often. But anyway, what I tend to do is I turn the television on, and one of my favorite things to do is check Hollywood 1-on-1 and Planet Hollywood. It's the making of movies. It's the quick interviews, a 2-minute interview of a star of a new movie.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you should check it out.
Okay.
Hollywood 1-on-1 and Planet Hollywood, or Planet World. I can't remember. Planet something.
Okay.
And they got their little jingle and they got their host. And what I do is I find out what movies are coming on. But I also find out, wow, I haven't seen these 50 names in the last year for any new movie. Like Kevin Spacey, like Meryl Streep, like Robert Downey Jr. Do you think these people are retired? I mean, retired.
Do you think these people really don't like being in the spotlight? Maybe.
Oh, great point. They love the spotlight.
They love the spotlight.
They live for the spotlight.
Yes, yes.
And they're not sitting incognito at a California beach.
No.
I believe they've taken up a residence 6 feet under. Okay. Now, what I've also noticed, these are just observations based on 2 years of, well, let's just say I check it out maybe 4 nights a week at 2 a.m. Okay. Not a long time. I'll check out half an hour and then, oh, I'm gone. I'm asleep. And then I wake up an hour and a half later and I turn it off and I get, okay, I struggle to get the last good 3 hours, 2 hours. Okay. Yeah. The other observations I got, Carrie, to me, it's really important. A bunch of young names that I've never heard before.
Yes.
And a good third of them are British. The British accent. It's unmistakable.
Okay.
Okay. It's unmistakable to an American.
Yeah.
And they're usually, decent looking young people.
I'm sure they're decent
20-something.
looking.
They're 20-something looking for a career. And some of the women are very attractive. And they got a movie and they're starting a career and they got a second movie and they're moving along in their career. And they don't talk about in Hollywood 1-on-1 and Planet Hollywood. They do not talk about. We've now put behind us an entire generation of actors and actresses. And notice that Mel Gibson is still around.
Yep.
He's got a 4-part documentary on child trafficking. His life has been put in danger again.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, and Nino Rodriguez, the boxer, he's in Texas. He's in El Paso, by the way. Every once in a while, we talk for like 15 minutes before a show when he's not real busy. He said, yeah, Jim, I can talk. What's up? And he's a really friendly guy. He's a nice guy. He's a smart guy. And I asked him, look, you did a number of boxing matches in your career in Los Angeles, correct? He said, oh, yeah, I did a portion. I don't remember how many. But Las Vegas is a big boxing center, but so is Los Angeles. Los Angeles is a very big city, and it's got a lot of people, and that is where the money is. So, hey, look, let's bring the boxing to the population. Okay. And what he said to me is, Jim, Hollywood and Burbank are near ghost towns.
Yes, I've heard this.
Okay,
I've
all
not been
right.
out there in a while, but I have heard this.
And I got a friend who does a show. He's outside LA. He verifies the same thing. He's outside LA, not in. And Nino said to me, Jim, it makes perfect sense that they were put down, and we don't get news that they're put down.
Mm.
And I said, well, you got some like Tom Hanks who parade out their brother.
Right.
That's the brother Hanks, and he's not a good actor. So he did the Elvis movie, and that was it. He did another one that I saw. And how do I know this? Because I was watching it on Hollywood One-on-One, where they featured the latest Tom Hanks movie, but it wasn't Tom Hanks. He has a bigger, fatter face. The eyes are not right. The smile's not right. The acting and the tone is not right. The emotional intonation of the acting role is not right. It ain't Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
All right. We are in the midst of a cleansing. And the cleansing has happened in Hollywood and the music industry.
Yes.
And
Thank
that's
heaven.
what Bo Diddy was all about. I don't want to get locked up in that.
Yeah.
But my point is that now we're moving to the cleanup, to the military and the political and the courts, the judges.
That's got to happen.
Okay, those three, the military, the courts,
Yeah.
and the politics.
Yeah.
That is how we finish this program. And the financial consequences are staggering. We're very likely. Let me just get to one really good, interesting point. I want to get to some of the Trump impact.
Okay.
Trump. Have you heard Trump wants a series of rate cuts?
Interest rate cuts.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to
Interest rate
ask
cuts.
you about that. What do you think about that?
This is playing with dynamite.
Yeah.
Um,
Unless he's got some other part of the plan.
let me just say that I'm working on that in the July report.
Okay.
I don't want to spill my analytic beans here.
No, people, you
But
got to get on his website,
I want people to sign up.
golden-jackass.com. Yep.
Golden
Sign up for the newsletter.
Jackass, sign up for the newsletter.
Yep.
Let me just say that I have compiled a list of policy changes that Trump has ambition to carry out.
Mm-hmm.
The most important on the list is a series of rate cuts. Now, you've probably heard the term the Fed doing a pivot.
Mm-hmm.
A pivot.
Yep.
They're going to stop the rate hikes.
Yep.
And they pivot and they do the rate cuts.
Yep.
Gold is going to approach 3,000 when this happens. It was last week, it got into the mid 2400s. Silver, they're really sitting on.
They sure are, with all their weight.
They're creating a slingshot. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried. It's just
worry.
funny to watch it. And
Stop watching silver.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching it closely. It just pops up,
If they do one rate cut and talk about a second, remember the talk is very important.
Okay.
The talk moves the gold market. Now, I'm on record as of February as saying they're going to talk about a rate cut, but then they'll say we can't because of the price inflation.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to talk about a rate hike, but they can't because of the economic recession, which I call depression. They're going to go bounce from one to the other, and never do anything on cuts or hikes. And honestly, Carrie, it's exactly what we've seen for 5 months.
Yeah.
No change.
No, nothing's
Monetary
changed.
policy.
It's just
All right.
this talk.
Now,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's a law, a rule. It says the longer you go with a certain policy, when you break it, you cause a big move. They call it a rectangle. You got a rectangle for the price. Okay, it's below this and above that, and here's the length of time. And that's a rectangle. When you break out of the rectangle, the longer the rectangle, the more violent and powerful the move. So when they do a rate cut, not just a rate cut, but talk about another rate cut,
Mm-hmm.
gold is going to move and it's going to trample everything in its path.
So doesn't that line up also anyway with what the BRICS nations are trying to do? I mean, doesn't that align, if it is Trump, we're assuming, who's instigating this, implementing it, that aligns us with
They
the BRICS?
they've got a double motive. They want their gold to be worth more, but
Yeah.
they're going to be a little bit reluctant to pay up for higher price gold.
Well,
They're
you
going to be
can't have it
selling
both ways,
they're
right?
going to be selling treasure. Okay, here's where the deal comes. This is really strange. The deal. Could it be that Trump says to them, we're going to bring about a bond rally so you get more money for your treasury bonds,
Okay.
and that'll help you to buy more expensive gold.
Okay.
Got it?
So convoluted. It's
Well,
so
everything is related to everything else. Everything.
exactly, I know. It's
Oh, I
just
know. And
the
here's
merry-go-round.
I recommend silver. They're creating a slingshot, a coiled spring. They cannot avoid $50 silver by the end of the year.
Okay,
Michael
so
Oliver is all over this.
yes.
Michael Oliver.
Yes, I recommend Michael Oliver. So the slingshot effect, I mean, it's just because it's been so suppressed, and meanwhile, other things are happening that require silver more and more and more, and the market's shifting in such a way, people want silver, and meanwhile, it's being held down, held down, held down. That's the slingshot effect, right?
Yes, it is. But
Roughly.
by holding it down, they're going to limit the supply. And it's going
Right,
to frustrate the buyers.
right.
Okay, I was told 2 weeks ago that we got over $30 again after the sell-off.
Yeah, I
We
think
got
so.
over $30 from India making a 5 million ounce purchase
Right.
for their
Now,
solar photovoltaic. The biggest solar farms in the world are in India.
now, I thought it was interesting. Didn't India just pay Russia with rupees recently? Um,
Um, I believe they paid with rupees, and Russia doesn't like it. And Russia said, "Okay, we'll allow it, but
yeah, I
we
was
don't want this."
surprised Russia allowed it. I was wondering
Russia
what was
told them,
up
"We
with
don't
that.
want this to be a regular thing.
Hmm.
No regular practice and policy." What, as a result, India has done something clever, and they've showed this as a practice a year and a half ago. Okay, remember the unit: 40% gold, 30% the currency of one country, 30% the currency of the other country.
Yeah.
India has said we're going to use the UAE dirham.
Oh,
They're going to pay Russia in UAE dirham more and
okay.
more, and
Okay.
they're and the UAE dirham is pegged to the dollar.
Right. Okay, so my question about all of this is I thought that the unit was going to be completely asset backed, but now we're talking about it being 60% fiat. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, but
So, huh?
don't think of it as 60%, toilet paper. Think of it as 40% rock solid gold.
Okay.
And
What?
they might change it in a couple of years to 60% gold.
Uh-huh.
Hey, look,
What
they,
created that change? Do you know? They just needed to back
compromise.
off? Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
countries said we don't have that amount of
Yeah,
gold
right,
to cover it.
right.
So, okay, there's something that's really quite
Mm.
remarkable, and I find it amusing. Um, if you look at the commodity markets, you see oil priced in dollars. You see natural gas priced in dollars, LNG in dollars, agricultural items in dollars.
Unit of account.
What we're about to see is a transition where the dollar is not going to be used exclusively in trade payment, but the dollar will be very, very widely used as an accounting unit.
Right, right. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing you
Okay,
say.
so
Okay,
so
yeah.
India will say to Russia, "We'll pay X dollars per barrel of your oil, and we're going to pay you in dirham." And no dollars change hands, priced in dollars.
But it's
Now,
priced in dollars. Yeah.
there's a gigantic new development coming up, and I'm very excited about it. It has to do with Shanghai and Dubai. Dubai is in the UAE. That's a
Mm-hmm.
little corner north of Saudi Arabia. I've
Mm-hmm.
never been there,
Haven't
but I know
either.
someone who lived there for a few years. And I was in regular contact with him. It was the voice. Um, so, oh gosh, I forgot my point because I got distracted by thinking about the
Shanghai
voice.
and Dubai.
Shanghai, very good, thank you. Shanghai has established a blockchain platform for payments.
Okay.
Okay, and the blockchain did not, when they talked about the blockchain, they did not specify what vehicles would ride on the blockchain
Okay.
that is established. And now, because of the St. Petersburg forum, we got the protocol for the highway, the blockchain ledger highway. Okay, first we talk about there's a highway, then we talk about the rules on the highway, and we haven't talked about the vehicles on the highway. You have the highway, you have the rules, and then you have the vehicle. I think the vehicle is going to be XRP. The vehicle has now been given rules. It's called M Bridge.
Yes, I've heard of this.
Little M, big B, bridge, M Bridge. I don't know what it stands for, but it was discussed, and certain, what do you call it, test runs were done, and the results were revealed and discussed at St. Petersburg, Russia, which is in the far west part of Russia on the Atlantic coast. It's the only country that touches the Atlantic and the Pacific.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what they did was they examined and tested with real payments done with the blockchain using the M-Bridge protocol, and they never told us what they used. They never mentioned the vehicle. And if you were to study the M-Bridge, you hear three things. It's fast, it's cheap, and no government can interfere. It's an anti-weaponization
Okay.
device.
Oh, okay.
No, not a
Okay.
device, protocol. All right. So they did some refinements. And I believe that in the next several months, we're going to be hearing that XRP and maybe another, maybe two others, but I think it's going to be principally XRP. That's going to be the vehicle to run on the blockchain, devised and installed in Shanghai. And whatever is in Shanghai is going to be in Dubai. They're Mutt and Jeff, they're cousins, they're two sides of the same coin.
Hmm.
And the vehicle will be XRP largely. They've already been testing XRP. I mentioned this a year ago.
Yes.
In the Gulf region.
Yes,
it's
you
for
did.
cell phone bills, it's for electric bills, it's for water bills. And when I pressed the guy's name, he was in Oman.
Uh-huh.
A nice guy, bilingual, perfect English. And his name was Ahmad. I love
Of course
that.
it was. And wasn't it
Of course it
also
was.
construction?
Yes.
Yeah.
He said, I only know of one instance. I said, is it involved in construction payments? He said, I only know of one instance. I said, something like the piping or the cement. And he said, yeah, something like that. There is one that I've heard of, and it's a large amount settled in XRP. All right. So, being tested. And I said, why would UAE test it and with other countries in the Gulf if they weren't going to use it?
Yeah.
In a bigger volume application? Right. He said, exactly my thinking, Jim.
Right. If they weren't hoping and expecting to,
I think it's
why
going to be
would you
France
spend the time and energy testing it
and developing it?
And developing it. And I thought M Bridge was like Money Bridge, but I'm sure it's not. That's just
it's the protocol for the unit.
Mm-hmm.
And the unit needs a bus. It
Right.
needs a truck. It needs something to just think
transportation.
I talk about vehicles, and I don't want people to think of it as a little Volkswagen running along the highway. I'm talking about a big ass truck loaded with capital to deliver to the other country on a net trade basis.
So somebody brilliant designed something that's anti-weaponization. or
And that
some
is
think
that's
tank
what the
did.
unit is. And
Yeah.
don't decry that it's only 40% gold. There'll
Oh,
be more
okay.
later.
Yeah, no, I just was thinking about that, and of course it would be a matter of compromise, being
I was
able to actually
disappointed
get to
too.
the table.
I was disappointed too. I said 40% shit.
Yeah, but we
But,
want things to
it's a
happen
start.
yesterday.
It's going from 0 to 40.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's just we've been waiting for so long that we want things to have happened already, and they haven't even happened yet. And it's a difficult position to be in. It's just the way it is. It's hard not to be impatient.
Look for St. Petersburg to be the developmental center. And this recent June meeting with St. Pete, they call it the SPIEF, St. Petersburg International Economic Forum.
Right?
And that eclipses the World Economic Forum in Davos. That's not the world.
Yeah,
It's the central
it's
bank world.
Davos.
Right. Look
Hmm.
also for I didn't say it. The June meeting of St. Pete was the BRICS conference. They joined them together.
Yeah,
They had a meeting for the BRICS last August, and it was significant. I covered it. And there's another one in October. It's going to be in Kazar
really.
in southern Russia.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
there are a lot of cities in Russia, and
yeah.
I'm sorry to say Americans couldn't name 3 of them. All right? You know what I mean?
It's a big country. Yes, I do.
All right, let me rattle
Yes.
off a few, and it's a partial list because I'm part of the problem. I admit it.
Well, I mean, we can't
We got
do
we got
everything, but
we got
my favorite
Moscow.
one is Vladivostok because I just like the way that sounds.
We got Vladivostok on the Pacific coast. You got
Hmm.
Sofia
Hmm.
that hosted Olympics. You
Hmm.
got Kazar.
Hmm.
You've got
Yeah, well,
you got
give me a minute.
Katerina something
Yes, something a
something
like a
Katerina.
Katharinaburg type of name.
I know.
Yeah,
And
right.
and
Um,
you got
God, I
uh,
wish I'd
you
known you
got
were gonna
you
bring
got
this up.
Siberia. You got Sibirisk. There's a
No,
name
no.
of there's a city in Siberia that's almost like Siberia in the name, but it's got
Oh,
an SK at the end. Oh,
yeah,
is it?
yeah, yeah.
I'm showing.
Novosibirsk. No, no,
Novosibirsk, yes, excellent. It's
Novosibirsk.
another one. That's in Siberia, I
And
believe.
then what's like right before you cross the Bering Straits?
Oh, Odessa.
Odessa.
Uh-huh.
I thought of that, but I didn't
Well,
say it. But you said it first.
that used to be in the Russian Empire, but it got absorbed into Ukraine, and now it's being claimed by Russia again.
But what's
The
over by the Bering Straits? There's not a lot over there. I mean, in my mind, um,
Bering, the
you
Bering
know,
Sea, Bering Sea.
yeah, going over to
Oh,
Alaska.
near Saint. Oh. That's
Yeah,
Vladivostok,
that's Vladivostok. Okay. Yeah.
the Bering Sea. I thought you meant the Barents Sea, which
Oh,
is
the
near the
Barents, which
Baltic.
is yeah, that's the yeah,
That's Saint Petersburg, and I don't
yeah.
know if there are many other big cities between Moscow and Saint Petersburg, but there probably are. I'm going to check the map and try to learn a little more
I know
because
this is really
Russia
embarrassing.
Russia is going to be a very important nation. Let me
Yes.
just say
And
to Europe,
culturally, they're doing. I
oh,
mean,
they've
I don't
got
know much about it, but they're more stable than people realize. I've been wanting to
it's
tour in Russia for a long time. Let's go to Russia, Dr. Jim.
I can't leave here. I made
I
a
can't
vow
go
that I will
anywhere.
not leave the country until this is cleaned up. I've
Yeah.
been here for 8 years.
No, I'm not going
I
anywhere
haven't
right
crossed
away.
the border in 8 years.
Wow.
8 years. No
Mm-hmm.
vacation, 8 years
Mm-hmm.
now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Russia is rich with cultural element, like
Yes.
ballet, like
Yes.
classical music. I love Tchaikovsky. I got a Tchaikovsky album. I like Rachmaninoff, the piano. Um, I have my sister loves the ballet, and she goes nuts when they get to the figure skating and
Oh yeah, they're
the paired
amazing.
figure skating in the
Yeah.
Olympics. Are you aware that in the Paris Games the Russians were not invited? Okay, this
Oh,
is really, really messed up.
stupid. That is so
Okay.
completely
Oh,
asinine.
I got to say, I got a message from someone who told me that a friend of his just gave a quick report. The Australian bicycle team had a lot of their equipment stolen. There was violence in the crowd for a particular match, so they canceled the match. And
This is in Paris?
in Paris.
And also, didn't the metro break down? Something happened with
the TGV, the high speed,
Yeah,
120 mile an hour.
yeah.
It's been sabotaged.
It's been sabotaged. That was
Right.
it.
Fires and arson and sabotage, like, a little destruction, like ruining the track, stuff like that. I was on the TGV in 2003 when I visited Kurt Rickenbacker. I'm telling you, we moved. I mean, we were watching the cars. So they were going 60, 65 miles an hour, and we were blowing past them. We were doing 120 miles an hour. All right, there's something else. You can't leave this out. The French person who lit the flame was transgender.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
They're setting the tone, okay?
I know. Yeah.
This is going to be one of the most disastrous Olympics in modern history.
Well, and also, I've heard the idea that because there's water sports, that they'll take advantage of that to release a virus through the water somehow. Like,
Could
you
be.
know,
Could be. And they'll have false evidence of testing the water.
Yeah,
Okay,
something like that.
These are the French government officials running the Olympics. I'd rather not get into the EU and politics. We covered a lot.
Yes.
We're coming up on an hour here, and I get a little tired. I got to tell you that 2 or 3 years ago, I didn't get really tired after a show, but I got to lie down after. I'm not a young Turk no more.
Well,
and this
you
is
are
really,
to me.
Huh?
You are to me. I had to say that. I had to say that.
I act young, and I'm playful.
Yes.
But
which is the best.
I got to say something. I did a 10-mile bike ride on Saturday, and didn't really knock me out.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, okay, so we need to wrap it up. Can I just ask you one question that
Sure.
I don't know if there's a quick answer to this or not, or it's an obvious thing, but the CCP talks about advancing what they call a socialist market economy, which to me sounds like an oxymoron to put socialist and market together. And is this just a PR phrase by the CCP? Do they really mean something when they say that?
Well, they're lacking foreign direct investment, so they're probably trying to attract foreign capital.
By calling it something?
Well, you're right. It's contradictive, oxymoron. You cannot have a socialist
market.
Heavy duty socialist market. That means controlled.
Yes. So there's no market.
Have a controlled equilibrium market.
Yeah, there's no market, period.
You can't say controlled equilibrium market.
No, that's like saying that you're in a...
You can't say controlled equilibrium.
No, right.
And the United States doesn't have one either.
No, I know. I mean, this is like saying you're in a...
controlled stock market. We have a controlled interest rate market. We have a controlled gold market, controlled oil market. There are very few things. I'll tell you what a sleeper is. It's silver. And people are now getting a little downtrodden about silver being at a 28 handle or a little lower. Well, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I don't give a shit. They're building a coil. All right. We've got magnificent demand in India, China, Australia, and California for solar photovoltaic. I've had 2 consult calls in the last 3 months. Maybe 2 months, June, July. Yeah. Okay. There was a couple in Cincinnati. They weren't in Cincinnati. They're east of Cincinnati. And they said, Jim, we got a couple solar farms in our area. And I said, please describe them to me.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I'm looking at the road. I get out of my car. I stand on the edge of my door, and I look up. And I see several hundred yards of nothing but panels. I look the other way and I see several 100 yards of nothing but panels. So instead of wheat or corn, I've seen Iowa cornfields. I tell you, when I was a kid, we visited my cousin in Iowa, and my dad grew up in Iowa. We went into the cornfield the day, this is important sequence. It rained the day before, and it was really hot and sunny the next day. And we went and walked into the cornfield and could hear it grow.
Oh, wow.
Crackle.
Oh,
crack,
wow.
crack,
That's
crack,
kind of thrilling. That's thrilling.
Every 10 seconds, we heard a crack. Okay, so instead of seeing a Nebraska, you get a helicopter view of Nebraska, and all you see is corn. That's all you see. Now all you see is solar panels.
Solar panels.
Now,
yeah.
If they're all collecting electricity, how are they all connected to, say, the grid or to nodes? You know, if you got an acre, you probably have a node where you collect electricity, and you got a very big cable.
Yeah.
What is the cable made of?
The most conductive.
Copper. Okay, so silver is going to drag up copper. When silver goes to 80, copper is going to double. And it's going to cause some problems with the industries that rely on copper, like plumbing, electronics,
Yeah,
whatever.
a lot.
Whatever. We're going to have to deal with this because we're running out of silver, and silver's got to go up in price.
Yeah, it's just going to have to.
It's going to be exciting. And I did a feature in May for my report. I had an entire chapter on solar and you know, produce things like how many kilograms per gigawatt, you know, stuff like that.
Right, right.
And a couple pictures of India, and some of them were mock-ups. And you know, we cannot leave out, we got 3 big solar farms in California.
Yes.
We got one in Nevada.
Yes.
We got one in Arizona.
So I just want to interject that, by the way, folks, if you subscribe to Jim's newsletter, you have access to this, or like what he's talking about in May. You have access to an amazing amount of information.
All you do is just keep on rolling down. Oh, there's June. Oh, there's May. Oh,
yeah, there's just a lot of information there.
You can look at 3 years in the back.
Yes. Okay, 3 years. And
no more. Well, we started in 2019. We got 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. We got 4 years.
4 years.
And now half another.
So, and right.
It's a great website manager.
Yeah, it's a real simple, easy website to use and easy access to the information that you're going to really, really want. And even though Jim says he's not an economist, the reason he says that is that he wasn't trained in Keynesian economics, which is why all those people are such morons. And so this is why you want to listen to a realist. You want to listen to practical man. This is
I'm not badly trained.
You're not badly trained in economics.
I loved microeconomics. I fell in love with it. I was a freshman in college. You know, in your college, you got to take a bunch that are not quite in your math and computer science area.
Yeah, so and whatever your subject.
I took microeconomics. I had an Indian guy with a turban. He was great. His name was Singh.
Right.
There are like 50 million Singhs.
Mm-hmm.
He was great. He was British educated. He had a British accent. You know, theory of the firm. That's economics. You got your fixed costs, you got your variable costs, and a great example right now. Isn't it nice and cheap? The digital cameras.
They are cheap. Thank you, China.
They've entered into the smartphone. And I bought in 1999 for $800 an Olympia digital camera. Now, are they not selling for $200 now?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, I paid $800.
Yeah.
So what happened was the volume kept going so that the fixed costs got overcome. The development costs, the R&D costs, they got overcome, and everything got cheaper. And we heard about that with the photovoltaic panels for solar, and that's probably true. What I included, I'm not sure I included it in the May report, but I learned later they've had about 3 or 4 new developments to improve the efficiency of solar panels. And it doesn't mean less silver. It
No,
means
it
a
means
little bit
more
more.
means more solar panels, I think, doesn't
Well, it
it?
means more solar panel, but it means more silver per square meter.
Oh, to create the improvement. I
No,
see.
because it's such an efficient gain
Yeah.
that on
Yeah.
that square meter, you can produce more electricity. So let's load it in.
Right.
We're not getting away from the silver crisis. And the only way to fix it is to get $100 silver and open up all the different Andes region, like, Bolivia, Chile, Ecuador. And
Reopen
there's one more, Peru.
Mexico's got Peru,
Oh, Mexico is the number one.
Mexico.
Let me close on this one very encouraging point
Good,
about
let's.
silver, but it's got a danger to it.
Okay.
China and Russia are inviting Mexico to lead the way for the other Andes nations to create a silver cartel.
Oh, right. I remember you talking about this.
And there's a lot more background to that, and I covered that in the May report. Now, here are the consequences. Mexico is beginning to act like silver is a national security metal. They don't want it to leave.
Yeah.
Mexico is the number one producer of silver in the world.
Yeah.
What does that say for price? Up. Okay. Now, I'm told that Bolivia, Peru, Chile, Mexico, and Ecuador, if they join this cartel with Russia and China, they will have 58% of global silver production. Now, imagine that they create a name. OPEC was not even in existence as a name in 1972. Now you have an OPEC minister.
Right.
Imagine that they create a silver cartel, give it a name, and there's a silver cartel minister.
Oh, man.
And he says, we're going to reduce the silver output because we don't like the policy by the Five Eyes nations. And overnight, we get a $10 increase in the silver price from nothing more than the silver cartel minister opening his mouth.
God, do we lay bets on what they're going to call it?
Whatever happened with OPEC, and right now they're calling it OPEC Plus.
Oh,
Russia's part of it.
Right.
So they make comments about Saudi is going to reduce output. Whoop, price of oil went up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, get used to it.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to make comments about silver output. The price is going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So buy your silver. Contact the 2 sources on my website. It's Miles Franklin and Gold Core.
Yep.
Typically, Gold Core is like for $100,000, $300,000 purchase, and you want it vaulted and secure, and you got a lot of zeros in your net worth. You're very wealthy. And Miles Franklin is more for the run of the mill, but they handle large contracts.
They'll handle
too.
large contracts too.
They handle it too. But
Yep.
I just have a lot more clients who make $10,000 and $25,000 and $40,000 purchases with Miles Franklin.
With Miles Franklin. Okay.
And I'm affiliated with both, and I would not be affiliated if I had complaints. And I've had no complaints from either Gold Core or Miles Franklin or Sprott. I'm not an affiliate of Sprott, but I've been recommending Sprott for 15 years without being an affiliate. No complaints from either of the three.
Okay. Okay, so to get your silver and to get onto his newsletter and to schedule a consultation if you need to, or to make a donation, you go to golden-jackass.com, an unforgettable name of a website for unforgettable guy, which is Dr. Jim Willie.
My mother used to call me my little jackass.
No, and we know why. We know why.
I was a little spitfire.
Uh-huh. And you still are.
I guess so, but now it's earning me a lot of assault from dark occult forces, and it's got me really down in spirits. It really does.
Well, let's invite some good spirits for you right now.
What I would like to see is elimination of these dark occult attacks that result in car crash deaths, other kinds of deaths. Let me just say that if you consider a 3 sigma event to be 1 in 200, well, if you have 3 of them, that's 1 in 8 million. And if you have 6 of them, it's 1 in 64 trillion. I've had close to 20 such events, at least 15. Okay. If you were to create a hypothesis, which is what a statistician does. Well, if you set up a hypothesis test, you would then say the odds of that happening are somewhere in 1 in a quadrillion. Okay? This is what I'm dealing with, Carrie, and this is not pleasant, but I thank everybody for keeping me going, and it's primarily Christians making donations, but there's another group that it's sizable, and they're truth warriors.
Yes,
truth.
right.
You're a defender of the truth. You're speaking boldly. You're defending it. And I think you're a truth warrior too.
And this is why this accounts for attacks because the truth, is threatening.
They're like cockroaches. They don't like light.
Yeah, exactly. But we banish them from our midst right now.
I'm doing the best I can. I am not going to back down.
No.
I promise the Lord I will not back down.
No, we cannot back down.
We don't want to give up because that allows the enemy, which is Satan, to win.
Not going to happen.
We must remember that the Lord God, Jesus, and God the Father are far more powerful than the dismissed rebel angel that we call Satan.
Yeah.
I pray, for instance, in the name of the Lord Jesus and Yeshua, I order the demons to get behind Jesus, my protector and my shield. But I'm telling you, okay, here's where it gets a little bit unfortunate and complicated. Without the protection that I have gotten, maybe it would have been a lot worse than what I have.
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about robot drones.
Oh, God, let's not even go there.
I know, yeah. I know. All right, so I try not to think about it. And there's an old saying that Christians have told me, don't look at them and they won't look at you.
Yes, I think there's something to that. So we want to look into the light.
Look into the light. Don't focus on the demons. But there's another little side, and that is I get angry. I get passionate. And notice that when I elevate my voice and tone, it's not anger, it's passion. But in my private life, when I'm dealing with the attack, sometimes I get angry. And that might keep the door open for another attack. This is very difficult to say.
Anger is a dark one too.
In the Bible, it says showing anger against a person is the equivalent of killing and doing serious harm. I haven't overcome that.
I know, that's a hard one.
I'm going through a lot of really personal things here. I think I'd rather quit because the Boston Red Sox are playing the New York Yankees.
Okay.
I believe they're probably in the 4th inning by now.
All right, so that's more like it.
I'm out of here.
All right, baby. Thank you so much.
All right, Sweet Pea. Talk to you later.
See you soon.
Thank you for being here with Dr. Jim Willie and me to talk about all the things that need to be talked about. Also, please do subscribe. Hit the like button. Make a comment. We love to hear from you. Here on Starseeds of Freedom, I'm Carrington MacDuffie.